welcome back to Live with Lori. So today, as you guys can see in terms of the topic, we'll be talking about health and wellness, which I know is a passion of yours, Lori, as well as mine. And just, having a different approach, being that you're not coming from a medical background, but like a legal background, but you have a personal interest in health and wellness and within your own life and things that you've learned. And, at the end of the day, it's just being able to help others. So I have a few questions. Annette is here. She said, "Hey, Lori." Annette Alicante.
Hi, Annette.
Hi, thanks for joining. So feel free to leave any comments down below if you have any questions. Today's topic is about elder law in regards to health and wellness. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so, a big topic when it comes to medical concerns in elder law or for elders is dementia. And I know that we've been discussing, you came across the Bredesen protocol. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you've learned, how you came across it, what you love about it?
Absolutely. I actually stumbled across the Bredesen protocol. I was, for my own self, researching some alternative, or not even alternative, but some approaches for dealing with arthritis, because I have a very, very aching joint, and some others are aching too. But I was looking for a functional medicine practitioner so I could maybe think outside the box, and I ran into a functional practitioner who mentioned the Bredesen protocol to me, and that is a protocol developed by a research neurologist and I guess a group of them for reversing and preventing cognitive decline. So I was really, really interested because, I am my demographic now. So my entire client base is, seniors, older or younger, but seniors nonetheless. And they have a protocol for preventing the onset of cognitive decline and for reversing it if you do already have the onset. For instance, mild cognitive impairment, or even before that, subjective cognitive impairment. So I just got really nerded out and got totally into, reading about it and talking about it and interviewing people about it and blah, 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 because I think that it's really helpful, because right now there are no drugs that are reversing Alzheimer's or reversing cognitive decline. Mm-hmm. So
and this protocol has such a great percentage of improvement as well.
Yeah, I took a look at some of the studies, and there's an ongoing study right now that's about to get started. The studies are small, but there have been improvements documented, and I think that's really helpful. So yes. I personally have interviewed a few practitioners who are dealing with that protocol, and they all have clients who have stories to tell. A couple of Dr. Bredesen's clients have written books about the mental cognitive decline that they've actually reversed in themselves.
Wow, to be able to write a book.
Well, to be able to write a book, right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's phenomenal.
It's really interesting. And the theory is, the understanding is that dementia isn't caused by one thing. It's not caused by amyloid plaques showing up in your brain. The amyloid plaques, apparently, according to Dr. Bredesen, show up in your brain to protect against some other insults that are happening in your body and brain.
Inflammation.
Yeah, chronic inflammation,
autoimmune,
toxicity, autoimmune.
The toxic world we live in.
Well, there's that. Yeah, there are a bunch of things that cause dementia, and it's not the same thing in every person. He talks about, like, if your roof has 36 holes in it, you can't take one thing and patch one thing and have the problem go away. You've got to address all the things that are creating the
and
wet
that's
house.
functional medicine and holistic approach is really about approaching it from a whole, as a whole. And functional medicine is about how the body functions from the root cause. So,
Right. So
it's a great approach.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
For myself, for my friends, for my clients who don't yet have cognitive decline.
Knock on
but
wood.
would like to keep it that way.
Yeah.
And for our clients who do have cognitive decline.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question in terms of your clients. Who do you think is an ideal candidate for the Bredesen protocol?
An ideal candidate is me, someone who doesn't have symptoms of cognitive decline, but doesn't want to, to move in that direction. They say that you should be looking into this and testing for this in your 40s. And I've seen articles also that say 18 to 20 years before any symptoms appear, you can see changes in I believe they said your blood work.
Yes.
That are moving in the direction of eventually you may be getting Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and to prevent it, like even now, even my age group, like looking into it, especially now that the world's like more toxic and, you know, people are having all these diseases at a younger age. So now even my 20s and 30s, people in my age range, is trying to prevent it now. Because, it takes time to turn into a full-blown disease. It's not overnight. And it can be subtle symptoms. Sometimes you don't have any symptoms. And then, next thing you know, 10, 20 years down the line, now you have a full-blown, diagnosis.
Right. And by the time you have symptoms, these processes have been occurring in your body for
at least
quite
10
some
years.
time.
Yeah. At least a decade. Because the body's resilient. It tries to fight things off as naturally as much as possible.
Right. And
but
one
over
day it says,
time,
okay, I give up.
Yes.
I give up. Take over.
Over time.
So I just am blown away by it, and I want people to know that this work is out there, because it's not something I'm seeing in the Alzheimer's Association magazine. It's not something that I'm hearing on the news. And
what do you think is? Sorry, quick question.
Go ahead.
Another question I have for you. In terms of how do you think the Bredesen protocol differs in comparison to traditional approaches when it comes to cognitive decline? Is there anything that really stood out to you that you found was a different approach?
Well, the traditional approaches, the drugs that are out there, have not been shown to reverse the disease.
Yes.
Some of them have been shown to slow it down.
Delay,
not even that much.
Yes.
But I mean, I think that reversing it is a better choice.
Yes.
And it's a multi-pronged approach as opposed to one drug or taking one thing and having it go away. I mean, the taking one pill and fixing something is probably more of a hope and a dream than a reality anyway.
So from your research, how soon that people have seen results with the Bredesen protocol from your research in terms of the time frame, maybe you could share with...
I'm not sure that I know the answer to that, but I've also, in listening to a lot of Dr. Bredesen's town halls, I also know that there are people who are improving, let's say they're improving for a year and then they hit a plateau. Then they go back and figure out, okay, now what's going on? What do I need to tweak to get past this plateau? So I'm not even qualified to really answer that question.
Yes.
But
it's more from your experience, your research, what you've seen, the success stories that you've read or come across. You've also written an article, right, as well, a journal.
Right. Yeah. I just recently submitted an article to the Elder Law and Disability Law Journal.
When we post this, we'll add a link below as well so people can check it out and go over it.
Yeah,
but
it hasn't come out yet. I think it's going to press.
Perfect. So let us know so I can share with everyone.
Yeah, I just think I feel like and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health professional.
Yes.
But I feel like when I'm talking to a client who is in here because her husband has signs of dementia, I feel like I want to give this to her.
Yes.
I want to expose her to it.
Yes. It's just informational. And that's what the next question I was going to ask in terms of how can you as an elder law attorney integrate this protocol or, into your maybe legal planning and into the services that you provide.
I mean, it basically just disseminating information. I mean, I can tell them what I'm finding and give them some links to the information or some handouts.
Yes.
And, they can look into it. I can connect them to some of the doctors who are dealing with this stuff or some of the coaches.
Just sharing that information.
In terms of my clientele, a lot of people are experiencing dementia, and we are legally planning for what the future looks like with that. We're doing the legal documents and stuff like that to make sure that if somebody does ultimately lose the ability to do their own bidding, that they have someone in place to pick up and handle their matters.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. What are the legal implications of dementia for estate planning and asset management?
Well,
or the challenges?
Yeah, well, the challenges are once you can't comprehend what's going on with your finances or things like that, you can't really manage them by yourself anymore. And if you haven't designated somebody to step in and act on your behalf, you may end up having to have a guardian appointed for you. And I know in another session we had talked about what a nightmare that can be. It's really expensive. The court does not always appoint the person that you would want them to appoint. And whoever does get appointed gets paid out of your money, and a lot of court appointees get paid out of your money too. So
yes,
and nothing can get done without court permission. So there's a lot of running back into court to ask for permission to do this or permission to buy that. So, the ramifications of not planning ahead for that eventuality could be serious.
Yes. I think just maybe elaborating more on, like here you wrote, a name successor for name. Sorry.
Oh, your question was how do I
estate plan provide
ongoing
care? Yes.
In case I'm their agent and I die.
Yes.
That's why I wrote that there.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a good idea to think ahead and think of, well, what if I don't outlive this person? Because that does happen.
Yes.
It happens more than you would think. And it's a good idea to appoint somebody to step in as a successor to pick up if something happens to you. I mean, we don't know. There's a lot of guesswork in elder planning. We don't know who's going to die first. We don't know how we're going to die. We don't know if or when we're going to get sick.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's great because when you have your consultations, you could also help facilitate conversations within family discussions about health planning. So I think that's super helpful. So there was another question about, in terms of health-related legal documents, what should people bring?
So health, when you say health
for planning, I guess
legal documents, that brings healthcare proxy to mind.
Okay.
What if I can't make my own healthcare decisions? And why might that be? It might be I'm unconscious. It might be I'm confused. It might be I got hit by a car and I'm all over the place. It's a good idea for me to do a healthcare proxy up front when I'm healthy, saying if I can't make my own decisions, I want the medical professionals to call so-and-so. And I'll give their cell phone number. And we also usually recommend putting that healthcare proxy into the database that DocuBank maintains. And they issue a little card. I might even have a little card right here. They issue
And it's called DocuBank?
DocuBank.
Okay.
And they issue a little card. Can you see this?
Yeah, you could put a little closer if you'd
A
like.
little closer. They issue a little card that you put in your wallet.
Okay.
And it gives their number.
Oh,
and
nice.
If you're rushed to the hospital in an emergency, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram.
or something like that.
Perfect. You can pull it back.
They can call this number, and they will be given the name and the phone number of your healthcare agent.
Perfect.
So they could be reached right away.
Okay. And these are all steps that you share during a consultation or once a client has retained you for the plan.
Yeah, I mean, some of this is the very basics. I mean,
Yes.
if you want to ask me what should everyone have in place, that's one of the things.
Okay.
That and a power of attorney. You want someone to be able to pick up and act on your behalf, both health-wise and money-wise, if something happens to you that wasn't expected. I mean, anybody could plan for a sickness that they can see coming, but we don't always see it coming.
Got it. Perfect.
So.
So another topic which I feel like you could elaborate on this a lot, probably in its own episode, but in terms of what legal protections exist for individuals with dementia in terms of regarding financial exploitation and elder abuse. I know that's something that you have a lot of opinions on. And it's sad because it happens, and how what your advice is, what your experience is it common? Do you see it a lot? And how do you, kind of direct people in the right direction?
It's extremely common. Back in the day, when I was doing primarily guardianship work, Article 81 adult guardianship work for people who had become demented, had lost their capacity, I am of the opinion that anytime you see a senior person who's becoming impaired, who lives alone and doesn't have family or really, really close relatives or friends right around them, there's always somebody there who notices and who tries to take advantage. I don't know what it is about human nature, because before this practice, I never really thought that human nature was that bad. Mm-hmm. But there's always somebody to take advantage of a vulnerable senior. So what do we do to protect a person against that? Well, first of all, we do the power of attorney in the healthcare proxy, and we make sure we have appointed somebody to step in and take care of things for this person. We do that when we're in good health.
Yes.
And we choose the person that we want to be, responsible for us if something happens. And also, you want to secure your assets while you're still of sound mind. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't necessarily want to age and get sick with all of your life savings in your personal name.
Yes. That was going to be the next question.
Yeah.
If I myself start to experience symptoms,
get your assets into a trust and appoint a trustee. And even if you don't have a person, like some people don't have a son or a daughter or a nephew or even a friend to act as a trustee, there are people out there who can be asked to be an independent trustee. I don't even mean a bank. I mean, there are individuals out there who will for pay be your independent fiduciary.
Yes.
If your money is secure, someone might rather look to someone who's not secure to rip off.
Yes.
It's I just can't even tell you how many scenarios I've seen over the years. It's unbelievable how many people are willing to exploit seniors. And seniors, not always, but often seniors are the ones who have had the time to accumulate assets, who have got a lifetime worth of savings.
Yes.
So they're easy marks.
Yeah.
They're really easy marks if they start losing capacity and someone nice befriends them, and they don't have any friends, let's say, or they've outlived a lot of their friends, or relatives or whatever, and they kind of take to this person who's coming in being really nice.
Yes, horrible.
And,
so sad.
And sometimes they marry them, and we've had to go in and get these marriages annulled
Wow.
when someone has brought it to our attention. I just wonder how many cases are out there that nobody noticed and brought to the attention of someone.
Yes.
And they just got robbed blind.
Yes.
And I think there are a lot. I had one case once where
tell us your personal experience. The craziest story you.
A really sweet woman, older woman in the Bronx.
Oh, and that says so
alone.
Interesting. Gotta jump. Would love to more info. Talk soon. So
What?
She had,
Oh,
on
hi.
that. Yeah,
Okay,
she said
bye.
so interesting.
Bye, Annette.
She has to go, but she wants to.
Okay.
Talk
yeah,
more,
I had a lovely senior woman in the Bronx. Beautiful apartment. Had a nice life savings. She kept getting a call from a scammer in Jamaica who kept telling her that she won a sweepstakes.
Yes.
And somehow he was able to get her. I had introduced into evidence 27 Western Union receipts from her sending this guy Western Union monies to the tune of, I want to say, $300,000, between $200,000 and $300,000.
What?
So we brought a guardianship, and don't ask me why this was over in the Bronx, because the judge asked her, about these transfers and why she was doing it, and she said, because I thought I was going to win some sweepstakes. I guess the judge thought that made perfect sense, and he dismissed the petition. It was
wow.
It was unbelievable. So she's out several $100,000,
Wow.
and I guess the judge wasn't concerned about where she's going to live when she gets kicked out of her apartment.
Wow.
Because she doesn't have any more money left.
Oh my goodness.
And stuff like that, like literally big stuff gets stolen from people, not just nickel and dimes. Mm-hmm. They're taking their house. They're taking their life savings. They're really...
It's just crazy. And, sometimes these criminals finding loopholes and, just taking advantage is so sad.
That's really bad.
So
you want to protect yourself.
Yes.
While you are of sound mind.
Okay, great. And then do you have any more thoughts on elder abuse? There was we always get questions about like elder abuse, physical abuse, not just financial exploitation, and signs to look for, how to, as a family member, try to, if it's your mom, your dad, protecting them. Maybe signs to look for, or
that's a little bit easier to see than financial abuse.
Yes.
Seniors in general bruise pretty easily.
Yes.
So if you see a lot of bruises, and that doesn't mean you were abused, because
yes,
you can whack your hand on the door and get a big black and blue.
Mm-hmm.
But
more, I guess, personality changes, and I know depression.
Fearful, depression,
startled.
Not that that's not uncommon as we age too. It is.
Yes.
What was I just? Something that is always suspicious to me is when there's one person who's not letting this person take phone calls from people, take phone calls from family members, take phone calls from friends. When someone is isolating a person, it's a huge red flag.
Yes.
So that's the kind of person that you want to be concerned about.
Yeah, but the financial exploitation is so prevalent.
Unbelievable.
Yes. Okay, so I just wanted to end kind of, if you wanted to share, some steps you're doing personally for your, health and things that you've been learning about yourself and your journey to health and wellness, and any tips. I know taking the functional medicine approach.
Yeah,
or integrating all different types of
I've kind of just started down that path, and you
love it, right? Isn't it so?
Well, so far,
rewarding.
I've had a lot of blood work done, and all kinds of testing to see what's out of whack. I'm very happy to say that I do not have the Alzheimer's gene,
yes.
ApoE44.
That's amazing.
Which is good, and my blood sugar's not out of whack, which is good. I've been prescribed certain nutrients, certain supplements.
Nutrient deficiencies.
Yeah, I have certain nutrient deficiencies.
Yes.
B12, D.
Which everyone has. Just
yeah.
the D is like just living on the East Coast alone. We don't get any.
Yeah,
we all
right.
have low vitamin D.
And I'm taking glutathione, and I'm taking some
Same,
prebiotics, and I just got advised to up the dosages, and I should expect to feel, something different very quickly when I up the dosages. So I'm at the beginning. I personally believe that I have mold toxicity and other
Like we
chemical
all do.
toxicity,
Yeah.
and I think that's
Heavy
going
metals,
to,
yeah.
I think that's. I'm waiting for that test. I think that's probably going to be at the root of a lot of things, like my chronic sinus infections and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I'm kind of looking forward to addressing that. And
So you would recommend that's a good approach to kind of go from root cause and do your blood.
It's good to see what your blood
work,
says.
yeah.
It's good to see what you're deficient in, what you have too much of. I have a couple of levels which are inflammation markers that are really high, which is not good.
Yes.
So,
Which, sorry to interrupt, but not the average doctor does not test for these things. So that's why we're talking about functional medicine doctors, because these are definitely more comprehensive, extensive testing, which sometimes you can request it. But in terms
it's not
of
in
really
your basic blood panel.
Yes.
Right.
So to get accurate results and.
Yeah, I had 27 vials of blood drawn.
27
it was
vials.
awesome.
You guys hear that?
Literally, it took like an hour. Good thing I don't mind watching the blood come out of my veins. But
you don't get wheezy.
yeah, so I like the idea of knowing what needs to be supplemented and knowing what doesn't, because I don't want to take a whole bunch of supplements.
Yeah, forever.
If I don't need them,
but that's. But
So,
even the fact that you're taking, supplements and vitamins rather than medication prescriptions, that's great. But the goal is, I think, at the end is definitely, being healthy, well-rounded, eating clean, exercising and.
Yeah, and the Bredesen protocol definitely recommends a mildly ketogenic diet.
Did you want to talk about the Bredesen 7? Do you remember them? We have it on our poster here on the wall.
Brain training.
The Bredesen 7
the ketogenic diet, physical activity.
The neuroplasticity, where he talks about like supplements, nutrition, exercise.
I'm going down the wheel. Yeah. Exercise, stress management, supplements.
Yes.
What did I miss? Toxic load reduction.
Yeah, brain stimulation,
brain
detox.
stimulation,
So
detox.
that's more
emotional and spiritual support.
Yeah,
I mean, all those things are
friends,
important.
spending time with people, and just human interaction, all of that. Just trying to be well-rounded.
That's all important. But what speaks to me the most is just finding out what you're missing and adding it.
Yeah, the
or
deficiencies.
what you have too much of and figuring out how to get rid of it. I am a work in progress, and I will be coming back and reporting my results.
Yes.
In case anyone is interested.
Because I know that's also a passion of yours, and outside of all of this. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lori. I loved this. I mean, every week we're going to have new topics, but I think this is definitely going to, set you apart as an attorney, and, being able to kind of dabble into, medicine and health and wellness.
Well, not medicine.
No, health and
not
wellness.
practicing medicine without a license.
Dabble into research and informational.
Right, that's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
Health and wellness, and your own experience, sharing it, and what's been working for you and what's helpful. So, thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Feel free to come back to watch the replay, and then when you do come across this video, make sure to like, comment, share. And I was going to say subscribe, but we're not on YouTube. But yes, also follow us on YouTube you could just search for NY Elder Law Group. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.